Jon Jones, although he's a complete psychopath and really believes that Stipe Miocic talked about his kids, which he did not, which we will get into later, he is 100% right in saying that people, real fans, would rather see Alex Pereira versus Jon Jones than Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones. And I also agree with Jon Jones that Tom Aspinall is a bit of an asshole because of all the shit talking that he's been doing. Because let's face it, for all you idiot fans who are not real fans, putting the little stupid pictures of ducks and shit and saying that Jon Jones is ducking people, number one, Jon Jones has never ducked anyone in his entire fucking life whatsoever. That's number one. Number two, he's a two-time champion in 2 different weight divisions. Number 3, Alex Pereira is a 2-time champion in 2 weight divisions. Number 4, what idiot would rather watch Tom Aspinall, a guy with an interim title belt who is ducking Ciryl Gane, who should be his next fight? Who would want to watch him fight over Alex Potam Pereira versus Jon Jones? Give up casual fans who don't even give a shit about the sport because you guys are insane. And by the way, the outspoken minority are just people from fucking Europe and shit who are obsessed with another guy from their country or continent that is basically in the running to be a fucking world champion. Like, guys, fucking relax. Michael Bisping was a legit fucking champion. You have so many other guys that never ducked anyone. And you get Tom Aspinall, who's been talking shit for years. He finally proves himself and gets the opportunity to fight Ciryl Gane. And he's like, well, Ciryl Gane didn't want to fight me, so now I'm not going to fight him. Like, you're a little bitch then, because you're doing what you're claiming Jon Jones is doing to you by outwardly admitting that you don't want to fight Ciryl Gane. So the next fight for you, buddy, should be Ciryl Gane. If you don't fight Ciryl Gane next, then you're the one who's ducking. You're the one talking shit. And if you really think that Dana White thinks that that's going to be the biggest fight, he's only saying that so that he doesn't have to pay Jon Jones as much money. Because what did Jon Jones say? In no uncertain terms, Jon Jones made it very fucking clear at the press conference following the fight, following his win over Stipe Miocic, a fight that everyone knew he was basically going to dominate him. And if he didn't, then you're a moron. But I digress. Jon Jones said very clearly, you know, if this is my last fight ever, at least I got to proclaim my love for Jesus. I got to fight in front of my American president because I am an American citizen and I do love God and I do love Jesus. If the fans don't want to watch me fight Alex Pereira, well, sayonara. And he said the only fucking way he will fight Tom Aspinall, and he's 100% right in saying this, is if he gets a huge paycheck, the biggest payday. Because again, listen to what he's saying, people. He will take less amount of money up front. He'll probably just bank on the fucking pay-per-view points if he gets to fight with Alex Pereira. So he's taking a much harder fight. You think it's easier for him to fight Alex Pereira than it is to fight Tom Aspinall? You guys are fucking insane. Look at what he's done to everyone. Everyone he's ever fought, he's found a way to win. Granted, there's still one fight out there that I think he did not win, and this is definitively even the Alex and Subson fight. I think he legitimately won that one, even though it was like point based or whatever. Even he says Dominic Reyes, that fight, Dominic Reyes won 3 rounds. He definitely won the first 3 rounds. He could have won the 4th, but he got his ass kicked in the 5th. That was a 3-2 fight that should have went to Dominic Reyes, a great guy whose career completely changed after that. And that is one of the problems with facing a superstar, is that he will always get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to the judges, because judges are human beings. And judges are always, I mean, look at like Paddy Pimblett versus that other guy. What was his name? Jared Gordon? I mean, Jared Gordon beat Paddy Pimblett. He beat him. And Paddy Pimblett was throwing illegal behind the neck fucking elbows, which by the way, those exact same illegal strikes were used last night in Michael Chandler versus Charles Oliveira. Even Dana White said he doesn't know what the fuck is going on with the ref not seeing that. The whole crowd saw it. I mean, the internet was going crazy over that shit on X, Instagram, fucking Snapchat, your mother's ass, your father's balls, all over the place on the fucking internet. Everyone's saying the same thing. Illegal fucking strikes to the back of the head. It wasn't stopped. It should have been stopped. It should have been a disqualification against Michael Chandler. This is the kind of shit that happens when you have a crowd favorite, or when you have a crowd favorite combined with a guy that Dana White really likes, or if Dana White just likes you, then you are going to get privileges. The incentive to be a good fighter and get on Dana White's good side is why Conor McGregor is still even in the fucking conversation when he shouldn't even be spoken about. All right? I mean, again, Dana White's like, well, I told you guys he wasn't going to fight in 2024. He's fighting in 2025. No, Dana, you fucking liar. You said he was going to fight early 2024. Now you're changing that and saying, well, he's going to fight 2025. You've been saying that for the last 3 years. In 2023, oh, he'll fight in 2024. Now in 2024, oh yeah, he'll fight in 2025. You're only doing this because Conor McGregor licks your ass, which he should. And, you know, he paid you money for the Floyd Mayweather fight. But again, let's get back to the point at hand, because I digress. The UFC needs to start making these super fights because it is diluted. When you get Bo Nickel not even performing, look, I gave Paul Craig a much higher chance, and I think that Paul Craig basically did nothing. But again, again, this like goes back to the fucking Sean Strickland fight, right? Against Paulo Costa. When you have a guy who's not engaging you and just keeps backing up. And I mean, even at one point, he fucking did that statue man shit in the third round, did Bo Nickel, where he was just standing there like an idiot. You know, remember that Adesanya fight against, I forgot his name, but the guy who talked like this. You know, the one from Cuba. He escaped Cuba. And they start the fight. He stand there. Adesanya don't do nothing because Adesanya don't know what to do. And I become statue man, confused Adesanya. That guy, I forgot his name. Yoel Romero. Yes, thank you. Yes, I heard you. Yes, I heard you screaming. So next time, whenever you listen to this podcast, I have a magic thing that if you scream loud enough, I will say the name. So make sure that when you listen to this, scream loud enough, I will say it. Thank you. So yeah, I mean, Bo Nickel's doing his best Yoel Romero fucking impersonation. And it's just like, dude, are you like here to fight? Like you have an opportunity. Number one, you're fighting in front of your alleged friend, President Donald Trump, President-elect Donald Trump, number 45 and 47. Congratulations. God bless America. And I mean that from the bottom of my balls. I mean, it was kind of cool to see Elon Musk and, Dana White and Kid Rock, even though he's 97 years old, and Donald Trump all hanging out together, Tulsi Gabbard and RFK. But yeah, that was pretty amazing. Anyway, but Bo Nickel has a chance. He's performing in front of his president, and he does nothing. He does absolutely nothing for 3 rounds. The crowd boos, and then they're like, okay, he's hyped. This was the featured event. Okay, the third fight on the card is called the featured event. He was the featured event in Madison Square Garden, New York City, at the end of the year. Everyone knows that this is like, November is the month for the fans because, they always put on a nice fan card. And then the December is for real fight fans. So in other words, you get the UFC/fight fans getting their favorite card in November, and in December, you get amazing fights like what should have happened, Shavkat versus Bilal Muhammad. But now we get Shavkat versus Ian Gary. I really think that the reason why Dana White made that fight is because he wants Ian Gary to like just shut the fuck up. He's like, oh, look, you get like 2 guys who are undefeated. First of all, Ian Gary looked like shit in his last 2 performances. I don't care what anyone fucking says. And relatively speaking, and Shavkat is dominating everyone. He's legit. He's going to easily beat the shit out of this guy and win. And no, it should not be for an interim title shot. I mean, it's not Bilal Muhammad's fault that he suffered an injury. Bilal Muhammad is a legitimate champion. I mean, he beat Leon Edwards decisively, and he did it very, very methodically. I mean, it was amazing. But I mean, this is like the kind of shit that happens now. Is that if you're a favorite of like the crowd, or if you get on Dana White's bad side, he'll throw you in a situation like that. But anyway, I digress. Getting back to the point is that December is when you see the final big card, the UFC type of main events, the UFC 310 type stuff. That shit is always for real fight fans who want to see a really good fighter versus another really good fighter. That was supposed to be Bilal versus Shavkat, but now we get Bilal versus Ian Machado Gary with 15 fucking names, and it's just like, whatever. Who cares? I don't care about that fight. But Bo Nickel had his chance to basically show off and like to showcase his skills. He couldn't do it. So 7-0, but it's like a mediocre 7-0. I mean, like to me, he's like 3-0, really. I mean, fighting like guys. And then I don't know what happened with Paul Craig. I don't know if he didn't want to take him down, or like he couldn't take him down. He didn't see the opening or whatever. But I think that part of the reason is that Bo Nickel just kept backing up and doing nothing. But whatever. So, and now we go to Michael Chandler versus Charles Oliveira, which I said on the last fucking podcast that is a fight that should have taken place 2 or 3 years ago. But since Chandler was just fucking stalling for all this time, it was ridiculous. By the way, I predicted all 3 fucking fights in the main event, the top 3. I told you that Bo Nickel was going to win by decision, okay, which he did. I told you that Charles Oliveira would win by decision, which he did, which really should have been a disqualification for Michael Chandler for the illegal strikes to the back of the fucking head. And I told you that Jon Jones would beat the living shit out of Stipe Miocic in devastating fashion, even though I didn't think he was going to be a spinning fucking back kick. All right, even though he had, I was going to talk about this later, but I'm just going to touch on it and then I will return to it. Some of these fucking journalists, you know for a fact that they're like not even fucking fans. They're not even fans. You get one guy who asked Jon Jones in the post-fight interview, oh, so like is this a new move that we're going to be seeing a lot more of since you never did the spinning back kick? And John's like, what are you talking about? I've been using that shit for years, which is true. Go watch his first fight with the Alex Gustafsson. He's constantly using the spinning back kick. That's been part of his fucking his arsenal for years, for decades. All he was trying to say was that he was working on it more because he saw an opportunity to go after Stipe's body. And I'm sure that either he or his coaches or both of them were watching the Max Holloway fight against Justin Gaethje, where Max basically smashed this guy's face, and he's like, well, shit, I'm gonna have to try that against Stipe because Stipe's 97 years old, so he'll go down with this. It was kind of funny. He thought he kicked him in the liver, and then when Joe Rogan corrected him in the Octagon interview, and then in the post-fight interview, he's like, well, maybe I kicked him so hard on the opposite side of the liver that he felt it in his liver because he knew he fucked up. But again, Jon Jones is a psychopath, just can't admit when he's wrong because that's what psychopaths do. Anyway, I digress. So, that Charles Oliveira fight with fucking Chandler, it was like, why did that fight happen? Why? Because Dana White had sympathy and mercy on Chandler waiting for 16 fucking years for Conor McGregor to not fight him. And Charles Oliveira is obviously a people's favorite. I mean, they were booing for Chandler, an American, and they were cheering for Oliveira, a Brazilian, which I thought was fantastic. And by the way, Oliveira does deserve it. I'm just saying, everyone knew that like Trump was coming to MSG. And real UFC fans, real MMA fans don't just judge you based on how good you are, because there's plenty of good people who are assholes. But if you're an asshole, it doesn't matter how much you win or who you beat, they will boo you. And people don't like Michael Chandler because he's a shit talker and because he basically delayed his career for 2 years, and he really should have been fighting. I mean, he should have been fighting for the BMF belt for the last 2 years. He should have been fighting Holloway, Gaethje, whoever else is like in any division that's close to his weight class, which basically is 3 different weight classes. And he's a former champion in Bellator, I think. And like, it doesn't even fucking matter because he's an asshole. And like, he talks like an asshole. And he got his ass kicked, and it was very fun to watch, but he was getting booed. So it doesn't matter what your nationality is or what flag you carry when it comes to real fans. They give a shit about you as a human being also. And then, of course, we get to the main event, which was an absolute banger, as they say. It was a banger, mate. A banger. Holy shit, what a fucking great fight. Because the reason why it was so great is because I knew Jon Jones was going to go in there and piece this guy apart. Credit to fucking Stipe. I thought that when he got taken down in the first round, it was over. But just like Jon Jones said, he's like, well, this guy had a pretty big head, so maybe he absorbed a lot of the blows, because he was hammering down at him. Like, it was crazy. And he was saying, also in the post-fight interview, Jon Jones was saying that he was going for the fucking 12-6 elbow since they're legal now, but he couldn't land it because Stipe kept using his wrestling, and it looked like he had a little bit of jiu-jitsu skills in there where he was repositioning Jon, and he did a great job. But man, the second Jon saw that like his body was weak, he's like, screw this, I'm going after the body. So and Jon Jones was a little bit confused because he was saying that he noticed the weakness in Stipe's body based on the Daniel Cormier fight. I think he got it backwards because everyone knows that Stipe, which by the way, Jon Jones confuses a lot of shit, all right? The same way that he can't seem to fucking understand that Stipe Miocic did not talk about his kids. And someone even asked him, oh, are you talking about the podcast he was on? He's like, no, I'm talking about, some other video where he said he doesn't want to come home to his kids and be an asshole. It's like, that is exactly what he said on the podcast, which obviously he didn't watch. And he's like, I'm sure my fans will go out there and find it because, I know what I'm talking about. No, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. You're delusional. Stipe Miocic never mentioned your kids. He wasn't referring to your kids. He was asked a question about his family, and it was basically an issue that had to do with time and devoting more time to his family. And he was saying he doesn't want to fight so long that he ends up being an asshole to his kids. He wants to be a father, which is why he got rid of this fight, which is the last fight in his contract, which is why he got upset when you pulled out the first time because you tore your pec. So stop being a fucking idiot. And it's just weird. Like he says, even though I don't like the guy, I respect you for being a firefighter. Jon, you're a fucking crazy person, asshole, psychopath. Just shut the fuck up. You are a great fighter, and even Dana White doesn't like you. But you are a great fighter. Stop making shit up and stop like trying to get the sympathy of people from saying that you love Jesus. Because if you really knew what you were supposed to do as a Christian, you're supposed to just be quiet and be a good fucking Christian and be an example. Not say you're a Christian and then say you don't like someone else, which is the opposite of what Christianity and Jesus teaches, which is forgiveness. So you've been forgiven many times for what? Your 12 to 20 indiscretions over the last fucking 25 years of your life. And you've been forgiven so many times and you're supposed to be a Christian, but as they say in old time radio, I digress. I look at this event and like, why would anyone want to follow this up with anything less than super fights? The UFC needs to start making major super fights. I hope 2025 is the year of the fucking super fight, because the number one super fight that should happen is Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira at either weight class. It should be Jon Jones' choice. If he wants to fight at heavyweight because he thinks he's going to have an advantage over Alex Pereira, good, because Alex Pereira has fought in the heavyweight division in kickboxing in the past, so he has no problem getting up to that weight. As a matter of fact, I think he walks around at heavyweight weight anyway. Heavyweight weight. It's a funny way to say it, right? He walks around as heavy as a heavyweight would anyway in his quote-unquote off-season. I think it will be a much better fight at light heavyweight, obviously, for Alex Pereira, because he'll have a little more speed. I just don't think that Jon Jones realizes that Alex Pereira has that punching power, and it'll be a lot easier for him to get behind that punch at heavyweight. So that's why it's such a good fucking fight. Much better than Tom Aspinall fucking versus Jon Jones. The other super fight that everyone wants, and if you don't want it, then you are what's called a casual fan, is Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. Who in their right mind would not want to see that fucking fight? It doesn't matter which weight class either. But we know that Islam is not going to come down, so Topuria is going to have to go up. What an amazing fucking fight that would be for 2025. Start off the fucking year good. You know what I mean? It's like, again, Shavkat versus Ian fucking Gary. No one wants that shit. Here, let me like give an example of another fight that nobody fucking wants. Colby Covington versus Joaquin Buckley. Explain this shit to me. explain this, right? Colby Covington goes from fighting Usman twice, Woodley, Masvidal, Leon Edwards, and his next fight is fucking Joaquin Buckley, and you think that Colby Covington is the one saying no to fights? No, with that kind of resume, okay, people are saying no to him. It's not the other way around. And, you know, fucking Joaquin Buckley, right, has fought no one that I just mentioned. Zero, okay? His last fight, he beat up an old, tired wonder boy Stephen Thompson. 41 years old Stephen Thompson. I mean, fucking Joaquin Buckley's 30. Obviously, it was going to go his way. So Colby Covington fighting Joaquin Buckley, I don't know, maybe it'll go 3 rounds, or maybe it'll go to distance, but I really don't care because I don't want to watch Colby Covington fight Joaquin Buckley. I want to watch Colby Covington fight a big name like he always does, because it makes it a lot more fun when he gets into the fucking cage. I don't care that he's not finishing his fucking fights. He just talks so much shit out of the cage. It makes it much more compelling to fight. He's gonna have to sell this Joaquin Buckley thing. I mean, the only thing that would make me watch it is, I know that Sean Strickland, that piece of shit liar, by the way, fake American, because right now he's talking shit about Trump on his Instagram stories. You guys should really check it out, okay? I'm not even exaggerating. He's like showing stupid memes with like fucking Donald Trump looking very stupid in the Coliseum, and he's like, what? No one like finds this funny? He's like, no, it's not funny because the guy got fucking shot at twice. Someone hit him in the fucking ear once, bleeding, fucking stands up, fight, and now like, he gonna make fun of the guy? And no, he didn't look like an idiot. I mean, the guy's hanging out with fucking Elon Musk. He's hanging out with fucking a goddamn Kennedy, which that kind of alignment would never fucking take place. So have some respect for your country that you claim to love so much, you piece of shit. But I digress. Colby Covington, if he hooks up with Sean Strickland, okay, which won't happen because Colby's talked a lot of shit about Sean Strickland. I don't think Sean Strickland likes him either. If he trains with him, if he somehow convinces him to just do one video where he's training and he's saying that the reason why that he is hooking up with Sean Strickland is because he's trying to get some insight into how to beat the shit out of Joaquin Buckley, now we have a fight. Now it's interesting. I'm not interested in that fight. I want Colby to fight anyone else. So Jorge Masvidal is like claiming that he wants to come back, right? Okay, well then give me Jorge Masvidal versus Colby Covington. Nate Diaz, like I was saying on the last one, man, I gotta come back to the UFC because ever since I seen this most valuable penis promotion, they don't know how to treat their fucking fighters, right? But they know I knows what he's doing, yeah, you know what I'm saying? West Side, bitch. I mean, who wouldn't want to see Colby Covington fight fucking Nate Diaz? I don't care if Nate Diaz is 97 years old. That would still be a great fight, all right? But it's like, I don't know, if you want to throw Colby Covington back to Masvidal or some shit, that's fine. I mean, you know, all these idiots talking about rankings, right? Okay, so Dana White had a fucking conniption about the fact that a guy who loses to Alex Pereira, Khalil Roundtree, loses, and he's bitching and moaning that he doesn't move up in the rankings. Since when does someone lose and get promoted? It's like, okay, hey, you've been doing such a shitty job the last month, but you really fucking tried. Here's a fucking raise. Like, Dana, what the fuck are you talking about? And in this same interview, like I've said before, he said rankings don't mean shit anyway because I'm gonna make the fights that I want. Even though he says that he's not the fucking matchmaker, everyone knows he is. He has these other two figureheads who basically are like you know, the people that he blames in case a fight goes wrong, and then he takes credit if a fight goes right. So he says, oh yeah, the matchmakers are making that one. If like he doesn't like the fight, but if it turns out good, he's like, oh yeah, I wanted to make that fight because blah blah blah. He's such a fucking lying shit talker, but that makes him a good fucking leader too, especially when it comes to UFC. Ugh. Anyway, but it's like, obviously the rankings don't mean shit. And by the way, we have some fair rankings right now in the middleweight division. These are fair rankings. Obviously, Dricus du Plessis is number 1, right? Sean Strickland is number 2. Israel Adesanya is number 3. And I think Khamzat is 4 now, right? Okay. How does Khamzat get to jump over both fucking Israel Adesanya and Sean Strickland to get the title fight? Now, I already fucking went crazy on this, but obviously the rankings don't mean shit. So stop saying about these super fights, oh, well, Aspinall deserves a fucking fight. It doesn't matter who deserves what because Dana White doesn't give a shit. What matters is what is going to put asses in those fucking seats and pay those exorbitant prices, which I think are now like beyond $1,000 for like a premium seat, probably even more, but it's like $500 for like a nosebleed, man. It is absolutely fucking intense how much those ticket prices were at MSG, and never mind fucking buying them at the last minute. I'm like talking about way in advance. If you wanted a halfway decent fucking pair of tickets, I mean, you're easily spending between $5,000 and $1,000, and then of course travel fees and food and everything else. Forget it. So, but also the viewers, the people who are going to buy the fucking pay-per-views. That's all he's concerned about, Dana White. Who the fuck do you think is going to generate more income and more revenue with the pay-per-view? I mean, you think Tom Aspinall is more powerful right now than Alex Pereira, a fucking guy who's fought what? He fought like 3 or 4 times this year. He's defended his belt multiple fucking times. He is the light heavyweight champion, the current reigning light heavyweight champion that everyone knows is going to win. And he wins every time by finishing the fucking fight. There's no boring fights with Alex fucking Pereira. You think that Tom Aspinall is going to outsell him? Okay, so he might might fucking do well if it was, you know, taking place in Europe or some shit. But you think that it won't be a guaranteed sellout anywhere else on the planet for fucking Alex Pereira? I mean, like, let's say they hold the fucking thing in Africa, you know, like the first African main event, which wouldn't happen. But let's say it's Alex Pereira versus Jon Jones in fucking Africa at some unknown location with like 20,000 seats. That shit sells out. Now try to put Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall in Africa. The African's gonna be like, who the fuck is the white dude? I mean, fucking seriously. Like, wake up, people. Nobody wants to watch Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones next. And again, if you're gonna put some fucking duck memes up there or the little fucking duck emojis, put it on Tom Aspinall's page and at Sidogan. Okay? Say, wait a minute, you've been ducking Sidogan for 6 fucking months. Shut the fuck up. All right? Fight Sidogan next. Just deal with it. Interim fucking heavyweight champion. Look, you deserve to have that gold belt, but you don't deserve to fight Jon Jones. Period. End of fucking discussion. You are not a super fight. You do not generate any interest outside of your country. That is a fucking fact. I don't care who the fuck you've beaten previously. Go after Sidogan, and then you will get all of the fans' respect, including mine. You duck Sidogan, fuck you. Very simple. Very simple. Now, I have to bring this up when like it comes to these reporters. Some of these fucking people who call themselves reporters, I don't know what the fuck is going on lately. Seriously. Again, I'm going to give these two guys props. I'm going to give them props again. The only two people that I care about who are asking great questions now is the guy from the Mac Life who also fought in some bare knuckle fight and he won. Whoever that guy is, he usually gets like the first question. And no, I'm not talking about this guy who has the 15 chins and he's always fat. No, I'm talking about the new guy who recently proved himself to be a great journalist and a reporter from the Mac Life. Go check it out on YouTube. It's at themaclife.com. And Mike Bond. Mike Bond, I respect. I like this guy. He asks controversial questions. He's not afraid to ask the questions. He gets fighters fucking increases in pay and money. So those two guys I'm not talking about with these statements. So let's like get that out of the way. All right? Okay. These alleged reporters, they are not journalists. They are fake journalists. And they're asking stupid fucking questions. But I'm going to give you guys some advice because I can't take this shit. No one likes this. Okay? Number one, for the fucking love of God and Christ and America and all things good on earth in this fucking dimension and all multiverses. Okay? Stop saying last one from me. First of all, we know you're talking, so you don't have to say last one from me. I know you're not speaking for the fucking reporter next to you. I know you're not talking about the guy who's going to talk ahead of you. So don't say last one from me because sometimes it won't be your last question because you're like, oh no, I have one more, right? And second of all, you're only doing it because you think it sounds cool because Triple Chin Man way back would say last one from me. It doesn't sound cool. You don't have to say it. That's not etiquette. It's annoying. Stop saying it. Okay? Just stop it. Number two, do not keep saying it. Man, go listen to the fucking post-fight press conference last night for UFC 309. It is amazing how many fucking people said, I have 2 quick questions. Okay? Let's fucking analyze this one. How come you didn't say, I got 3 quick questions? How come you didn't say, I have 1 more quick question? Why are you even telling me it's a fucking quick question? Because by the way, the fact that you just used more words to say that I have 2 quick questions, you just extended your fucking speaking time and wasted my time. Who cares how many questions you have? Just ask your fucking questions and don't tell me last one for me. I don't give a shit. And the final thing that I've noticed lately with you quote unquote reporters, you journalists, oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with you people for doing the following? Why is it that some of you people, especially at the bottom of the rung, you bottom feeders that are asking like, you know, I guess it starts with like, you know, the 4th person asking and it just gets progressively fucking worse. I don't know if these guys are fans or what, but let the guy you're asking the question of answer the question and stop interjecting your opinion and your words talking over him. I don't know how many fucking times the same guy just kept saying, yeah, you're right. Or another fucking annoying guy who was like basically giving his opinion on what he just fucking heard. Dude, I don't care about your opinion. Ask the fucking question, get the answer, and follow up with another question that has to do with the one you just asked. I don't care what you think. I'm not there to listen to your opinion. I'm there to listen to the opinion of Dana White, Jon Jones, Charles Oliveira, whoever the fuck else is up there. I don't care about what you think. If I gave a shit about what you think, then I would be tuning into your fucking show, your podcast, but I'm not. I want to know about the UFC guys. So I don't care what you think. I mean, especially, you know, like you got this one guy who asked Dana White a question and then he basically responded by saying, well, I don't know if that's accurate. Like, fuck you, man. I don't care if you think it's accurate. That's Dana White's opinion. That's his fucking response and that's it. So, you know, like don't talk over these guys. Don't like, just stop it. So stop talking over them. Stop with your fucking commentary and let them finish. Another thing that happened multiple times. Dana White wasn't even done talking. He goes up to grab the his little blue cup there that that's advertising the organization that no one watches, you know, Smut League. And some fucking dude is like, hey, Dana. It's like, bro, he's in the middle of answering a fucking question. Wait your turn. Wait. You know what? I was only going to give 3 fucking stipulations for you people, you fake reporters, you terrible fucking journalists, but I'm going to give a fucking 4th one, okay? Do not waste my fucking time and say, Dana, I just want to say it was a great show and congratulations. Stop it. Why are you kissing his balls? It's your opportunity to ask the fucking question. Ask the question and stop like asking these weird questions like, hey, so Dana, when are you going to go to Africa? Who gives a shit? We're talking about UFC 309. Like, you just watched Jon Jones, Charles Oliveira, and Bo Nickel fight. You give a shit about him going to Africa. Really? Or then you ask about some fucking obscure fighter who obviously is not on Dana White's mind. Like, hey, when is Ikubara Kaputukara from fucking Japan gonna fight? And Dana White's like, I don't know. And like, he's looking to the left for some fucking help. He's like, oh yeah, well, I guess when we fight in Japan or when we fucking go to that region, he'll be fighting again. Thank you for your fucking question. That has nothing to do with UFC 309 or even 310 or even about a fucking fighter that anyone cares about. So enough with the last one for me. Enough with the 2 fucking quick questions, and stop talking over these guys when they're trying to fucking answer the question. You fake, terrible fucking journalists. Again, shout out Mike Bond, you're awesome. Shout out to the guy whose name I can't remember from the Mac Life, you're fucking awesome. The rest of you suck. Like, just listen to Mike Bond and listen to how he asked the questions and stop with the fucking last one for me. Holy shit, cringe. Ugh. So the only fight that makes sense next for Jon Jones in the heavyweight division or even light heavyweight, and the only fight that I would watch and I would pay for again, just like I did last night for UFC 309, would be Jon Jones versus Alex Potan Pereira. If you don't agree with that, guess what? You're a casual.